All right, joining me now is General Jack Keane, Fox News strategic analyst. General, good to see you. So what's your take? Should Speaker Pelosi go or not go?
Well, I think the Biden team here has managed to paint themselves into a corner here where they've got a lose-lose situation. And by that I mean, if Speaker Pelosi goes, the president has already weighed in on this thing, and obviously the Secretary of Defense has as well. And it makes him and his national security team look very weak. If she cancels or delays the trip, then the reality is that once again, the Chinese Communist Party has reasserted itself into what is in the U.S. national interest and what is not in the U.S. national interest. We have been self-censoring and self-deterring ourselves as a result of China's bullying us and Taiwan for years. And that policy has been a massive failure. For the last 10 years, what has President Xi been doing? Every single year increasing his aggression abroad, particularly when it comes to Taiwan in terms of military intimidation and coercion, undermining the civil society and the democracy of Taiwan, and doing everything in their power in terms of bullying allies and partners to disassociate themselves with Taiwan. We should not take a knee on this. That would be a huge mistake and fall into the very serious mistakes we've been made for years.
You know, General, I think
we've got a right to go, and we should stand up for that right to go.
That's right. I think she almost has to go right now. Otherwise, it looks like she's bowing to the Chinese. But what really gets me here is how aggressive the Chinese have been. They said the U.S. will be responsible for all of the serious consequences, and firm and resolute measures will come if the speaker goes to Taiwan. What do you make of this aggression?
Well, that's typical intimidation by the Chinese. They want to get inside our head and get us to back down. I mean, do we really believe that China's going to go to war over Speaker Pelosi going into Taiwan? Do we really believe that they're going to do something to her airplane? I think not. Will they escalate something in relationship to Taiwan like they've been doing? Probably. Could they come up with a new trick short of conflict? Possibly. But that shouldn't stop us. That's self-deterring once again if we fall into that trap. And that's what China expects. And the reason why this rhetoric has increased, I think Jillian is absolutely right. President Xi in several weeks is going to be enshrined by the National Party Congress for a third term, likely indefinite, and they don't want anything that would diminish that event taking place in terms of embarrassment to President Xi, and certainly this could possibly be interpreted by people in the Chinese Communist Party as that kind of an embarrassment or anything that makes him look weak. So that I think accounts for some of the strength of the rhetoric.
So General, obviously the Chinese feel emboldened. Are we doing enough on the military side to counter the growing military strength of China, or do we have to do more?
No, we have got to do so much more. Our military deterrence has eroded in the Pacific region due to the 9/11 wars and 8 years of Obama's declining budgets. Trump put increased money into the defense budget to begin to dig us out of this hole. There's more money coming from the Biden administration, good thing. But it's going to take a number of years to do that. And President Xi is incentivized, knowing full well he has a military advantage right now. And he's also facing some economic headwinds right now. It may be to his advantage to do something sooner, next 3 to 5 years, rather than later, because he knows at some point the United States is going to catch up to where we should be in the Indo-Pacific region as we develop increased capability and putting more of that capability into the region.
General, I only have 20 seconds, but no doubt you're talking about the armament side, but the Army can't meet its recruiting goals, and so now they're reducing their standards in regard to body fat and in regard to academics. I mean, what's going on here?
No, they're not reducing their standards. You don't have that right, Sean. I'm sorry to say.
I hope you're right, General.
What they're doing is they're starting. I am right.
All right.
They're starting a basic camp, which I think is a good thing. Listen, the eligibilities that we have, people in America who are eligible to enlist in the United States military is at 23%. The reason why they can't and they're not eligible is 3 reasons. 1, morally, they committed a crime and we're not taking them. 2, mentally, they can't pass the aptitude test. And number 3, they're so overweight that they have comorbidity problems. The Army is starting a pre-basic camp for 90 days to get the fat off the recruits, number 1, so they can meet the standard, not decrease the standard, and number 2, help them prepare and pass the ABFEB test. The fact that so many youngsters in America cannot pass the basic aptitude test to get into the United States military is an absolute indictment of our secondary high school education system. It is a shameful event that has taken place. The Army is trying to do something about it. They are not decreasing the standards.
I'm happy to hear that. And it's also the problem of chips, pizza, and video games in the basement. These kids are too fat. General Jack Keane, thanks for joining me.